Hi, this is the Talkies. Kenny D and Taylor here, and we're going to talk about Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
Ro Jabbit.
I love this movie. I do.
Yeah?
I love it.
What can we say?
What can we say about Jojo Rabbit?
Let me start the ball rolling, shall I?
Thank you.
Okay, metaphorically.
Thank you.
There's no actual ball here.
R-
I'm just going to start talking about the movie. That's
I'm
what
gonna.
I understand that.
I'm gonna do a little preamble.
Wait, but I was talking.
Wait, who gets the preamble?
I saw this movie before you guys did.
So you get to
that's
talk
true.
first?
Yep.
So you have the authority?
I have the authority.
All right. I guess you've seen it
Fair
twice,
enough.
too, so...
No. So the reason why we're seeing it why we're reviewing it so late, is because none of us saw it when it came out, except for me.
Yes.
I don't remember what other movie we went to go see instead.
It was like Thanksgiving weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if we might have like skipped a week
Yeah, I
or
think
something.
we had an off week.
Oh,
Yeah.
off weeks.
Yeah.
Amy and I went to go see it together, and both loved it. But now all three of us get to see it.
Good
So-
preamble.
So you
Thanks, man.
you have the you have the advantage because you've had a lot of time to sit and think about it and form.
I have.
You have an
thoughts.
unfair advantage.
Yeah, that's not fair.
That's not fair.
We saw it last night, but we didn't record it.
Yeah.
So we have a day to think
We
about
had a
it.
day. Yeah.
We sat down to record it, and everything was ready to go, but all of our batteries were dead.
And unfortunately,
Yikes.
we use batteries.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's really sad.
So that was it.
Yeah.
we decided to do.
That won't happen again.
Yes, it will.
Not when our new things get here.
All right. Anyway, the movie. Can I get the ball rolling?
Did we see the movie?
Please get the ball rolling.
Thank you.
Please, God.
There have been many attempts to poke fun at Hitler and World War II
I don't know.
through humor, right? Where they make a take on World War II that is funny. Has happened many, many times.
Yes.
And sometimes it genuinely works as something that's funny. But that usually comes at the cost of what is poignant, significant, and important about the whole story, right? This was a very rare film in that we had Taika Waititi silliness throughout. Like, it was funny.
Yeah.
And yet it maintained a very serious undercurrent that was at times quite sad and profound.
Yeah.
And maintaining that balance, I think, would be very difficult to pull off.
It was really neat how they did that.
I mean, some of the silly moments were on the edge of absurd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
then it got really
right
dramatic.
when things were super dark.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was my biggest takeaway from the movie, and then probably the thing that impressed me the most about this movie was that dynamic and that balance and how well he struck it. And like I can't imagine how hard it would have been to find that balance of genuinely being hilarious and genuinely making fun of Nazis and how absurd that whole thing is.
Yeah.
But simultaneously respecting the reality of the situation,
Right.
the reality of that history,
Yeah.
and not making a mockery of the atrocities that Nazis committed.
And the trailer really made it look like this was purely parody.
Yeah.
Like, the trailer really honed in on all the silliness aspects.
Yeah, it did.
And mostly stuff from the camp, which is only in the first act of the movie, right? So, like, it looked like, from the trailer, it looked like a Wes Anderson parody on the not Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
But then there was so much more to this movie that the trailer didn't show us.
Yeah.
Which is also nice and refreshing.
That is nice.
Yeah. I can't think of another movie off the top of my head right now that stars like a 10-year-old boy or a 10-year-old kid, girl, whatever, and like carries the movie and has like a full-on character arc.
Carries the movie.
Yeah.
Like, is the main character.
Yeah.
And he had a very sophisticated character arc.
Yeah.
Like, that kid had to deal with seriously complex emotional drama.
Yeah.
Between his allegiance to Hitler and the dreams of being, which has all been supported by his mother, who knew that's what he needed to be safe, who now is trying to kind of bring him back from the edge of that abyss.
Yeah.
and him not quite appreciating how much she's given him until she's gone. And,
right. And confronting world-shattering
that is
and
some heavy stuff to put on a child actor, and this kid was amazing.
Yeah,
he was really good.
I think what helped it along a lot was him being able to be silly 10-year-old with like we always see kids do weird, silly things when they're younger.
Yeah.
And this movie, because it was weird and silly, allowed those things to happen. So he could say silly things and it would come off as fine because you're a silly 10-year-old kid, but they didn't break the whole theme, the whole dramatic theme that was happening.
Yeah. It all made perfect sense in this depiction, in this world that got set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he really dipped his Waititi really dipped his toe into some dark waters with this, and yet I feel didn't go so far as to sort of stomp out the childlike magic of it.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
At the end, it really felt like we were setting up for a suicide moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah, and we just had a gut punch, so I'm like, oh, don't do it again, man.
Yeah,
right.
That must have been really tempting to do.
I know. I felt like that there was a draft somewhere where that happened.
Yeah,
probably. Probably.
And I'm sure it was intentional that we all
for the suspense
that we all felt that.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, the door was closed.
Yeah.
And
it was like pure silence. And stuff.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the edit, if they decided not to go with like a longer pause, because a longer pause would have definitely taken you there.
Yeah.
And like, oh wow, did she really kill herself? But they didn't really like. I think they stuck on that scene for no more than a second, probably less than that.
The super tall Gestapo guy, was that what's his name? Of the Shape of Water monster, the guy who's
Jones.
Doug Jones. No, he's a comedian who's
Oh, he's a comedian.
Yeah, I've seen him work with Ricky Gervais sometimes.
It's like
the Stephen Merchant.
Is that?
There's only a few like really tall white guys in Hollywood.
Right.
I have to,
Yeah.
Is that Stephen Merchant?
Yeah, that's Stephen Merchant. He's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
He was great in that too. In that scene,
that was
character.
a good role. Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Merchant.
That whole sequence really had me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I've seen that scene in a dozen movies, and it was like, here we go, the Gestapo's here, they're going to search everywhere.
Right.
And it's still really fresh.
Because it's a fresh take.
Yeah.
Because
and all the Heil Hitlers, man,
that was just funny.
Incredible.
But like the Gestapo coming in like many other films, because they're all pure dramas, right? They come in, they're bad guys, they're here to do business. And in this, they're still here to do business, but he's like the Stephen Merchant character is he comes in with a kind of lighthearted kind of, I'm here to do a job, and everyone says, oh, there might be a Jew somewhere, so gotta find him.
Yeah.
And so I loved that.
It's like he wasn't aware of the suspense.
Right.
He wasn't adding to it in any way.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
The character and his
really
performance wasn't adding to it.
That's interesting that you'd say it that way. That's the awareness, like the story's aware of what.
It was like the
audience.
There's so many of those moments in other films where the Gestapos come in, they're searching the house, but the Gestapo already knows,
right?
Yeah, that there's someone hiding there. They already know.
Like even like one of the best scenes ever of that setup in
Inglourious Bastards. Yeah. He already knows they're below the floors, like you know.
Yeah.
And that's why he just literally milks it out.
Yeah.
And that's the point of the scene, though, right? Is the milking part.
Yeah.
And in this, it's genuinely just we're not sure what's happening.
Yeah. Which is fun.
Well, when the scene started, I thought, they know.
Yeah.
Right? But then you start to realize they don't know.
It genuinely is a routine search.
I love that. I love that whole routine kind of search. That's
and
really
the guy reveals himself as the hero right then. That's when he first when he lies about the birthday on the passport thing.
Yeah. So that whole thing kind of like leads into the other part of this movie that was really impressive to me, is just the overall take of the movie in general. As World War II is a subject matter and in film that has been done for decades and decades, like since World War II happened.
Yeah.
It's that whole subject of history has played major roles in film. And so it's like, at this point, what more can you do in that subject matter? What kind of take can you have on it and have it still be fresh?
Yeah.
And I think this movie was successful in that. It was a genuinely fresh take on World War II.
You have a clip on your microphone.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that cool?
And the perspective from within Germany, from a kid who is 100% in on the Nazi agenda, being the protagonist of the story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was extremely conflicted all the way up to the point where he full on still tried to stab the girl, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I can't think of another film that's really done anything like this.
Yeah, I would agree. I can't.
And I can see why Disney didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot.
I love the opening scene to this. The opening, like, whole sequence.
Yeah, with the Beatles in German.
So the opening sequence.
And the way they used that was actual footage of people freaking out about Hitler.
But they said
but it looked exactly like the way people freaked out about the Beatles.
For Beatlemania.
And that was rather
poignant,
effective.
Yeah.
Strong
like,
emotions.
Wow,
there.
you never really sit back and think about how powerful of a person. You know, he's not like some guy who just ruled because he had big weapons.
Right.
You know, he didn't force people. He eventually did force people, but he didn't get into power at gunpoint.
Right.
He got into power by being extremely charismatic.
Yeah.
And
people liked him.
Fainting when he talked to them, you know?
Yeah. That's really insane. And that's pretty brilliant, that whole setup and that contrast, that juxtaposition between Beatlemania and people fawning over Hitler.
Yeah.
Because I think that's kind of funny. That comparison is funny, but it's also
funny in
dark.
retrospect.
Yeah.
But it's like because you weren't there at the time, and now you're having that juxtaposition. So you're like, oh wow, that's interesting.
The light and dark comparison.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. And the Hitler Youth Camp, which was obviously very parodized, right? But at the same time, it made you really feel like, oh yeah, I could totally see kids getting 100% in on this.
Yeah, like it's just a fun summer camp kind of thing.
You didn't feel the evil vibe until the guy's like, "Will you kill a rabbit for your Führer?"
Yeah,
and,
you know?
and that more or less felt like just that character.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And I like that about this whole thing is that even though, like, the idea of anti-Nazi, saying that Nazis are inherently evil.
Yeah.
That wasn't in the movie.
No.
I really
I forgot that I hated Nazis until they started calling him Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Nazis. I freaking hate Nazis. You're like, Jojo Rabbit. And I'm like, Nazis are the worst.
I also thought it was...
For the record, Nazis are the worst.
For the record.
Yeah. Just
that's a little...
okay, fine.
A little racist.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. We try not to get...
Nazis are not a race.
Yeah, they are.
Going out on a limb here, we always try to keep talkies out of politics.
Yep.
Keep it clear.
Yep.
But I think it just has to be said. Nazis are bad.
You weren't going to go...
That's a little one-sided. You know,
well, it's just true.
I mean, but you're stating it like it's objective truth. I mean,
I don't know. Is it?
I mean, can you?
It's faux objective. Everything you say is
faux
opinion.
objective.
Yeah.
I see the whole world.
I'm getting flashbacks.
Shades of gray, because I'm colorblind.
I'm cutting all this out.
Oh, you're trying to censor my views on Nazis?
I am. Yeah.
You know what's funny is how often he says that, and
then I leave it in.
He leaves it in.
I say that so we end the segment.
super cut of. I'm gonna cut that out.
Am I gonna cut that?
No, you're not. You're probably not gonna cut that.
I also really like the David Bowie song at the end.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. In German again. We could be heroes.
That was great.
Well, what kind of pizza is?
Oh, it's a German sausage.
I really liked Scarlett Johansson.
She was so effective at breaking your heart.
Yeah.
The only reason that reveal worked so well of the shoes
Yeah,
I got something about that.
It works so well because she genuinely made us fall in love with her.
So there's some extreme visual storytelling going on here, especially with the shoes.
Yeah.
Obviously, they had to introduce
and the shoe tying.
Yeah, and the shoe tying. They had to introduce the shoes as I believe what happened here is that they had the scene of her of her hanging in the storyboard somewhere, and had to make sure that the audience knew that was her before seeing the shoes
Even he noticed
upon seeing the shoes. Yeah. So I think what they did was retroactively
came up with the dance number.
Well, came up with the whole shoe motif.
Yeah. I love the use of motif. Like so many movies now are so surface level. They just don't go to the trouble to do these little things like that. These little callbacks. Yeah. That make you care more about the relationship.
Yeah, and it's visually driven is the thing. You don't have to explain or say a motif.
Right, you don't have to say paragraphs worth of context when you have an effective motif.
Yeah.
He kneels down to tie Elise. Is that her name? Elisa?
Elsa, I think.
Elsa?
Yeah, Elsa.
He kneels down to tie Elsa's shoe at the end.
Yeah.
That was the ultimate way of him saying, I see you as a human being.
Right.
And tried to do it to his mom's shoes.
Yeah. And he didn't.
Was painting, and he couldn't do it.
But he couldn't do it.
And if we had a line of dialogue where he stopped and said, "You're human, and I appreciate you," it would have been stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about movies.
Yeah.
That's the cinematic.
What's great about good movies.
That's the cinematic.
That's not what's great about movies.
No. That is what's great about movies.
There's no use of motif in Star Wars.
But those elements.
Lightsabers is a motif.
Those elements are film things.
Yeah.
Those are things you should be doing.
Yeah.
Those should be the basics.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're a movie and you're not doing stuff like that, then
why? Like, why are you even here?
Exactly.
Well, so back to my visual storytelling about the shoes. I believe they had to make her a silly character, like someone who was just more lighthearted than most moms, because one, she was a person who hides a Jew in her house, so I think you have to be at least warm-hearted for that. But also because she was so playful with him. For one, because it's Taika Waititi, who's someone who's playful, and the whole movie had a very playful tone. But also she did things like walked on top of walls, right? And that shot specifically, where she's walking on top of a wall next to the kid, we have a lot of the shots from his perspective that it's just of her shoes, and he's talking basically to her shoes. And you don't realize that it's a relationship that you're building with this visual motif of the shoes until later on.
Yeah, until it becomes apparent from the hanging body.
Yeah, and I think that was pretty genius.
Yeah, I love moments where you hear the entire audience gasping.
Yeah.
Like, I heard that just wave across everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell when people got it. They're like, we had
a cool audience.
It was a great audience.
I think we were in the best place to see.
Yeah, we were pretty lucky with that. Art house. Tower Theater in Sacramento.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it is art house. So,
yeah.
I say unfortunately because
it's uncomfortable. At least they have state-of-the-art projection because
the picture quality was
amazing.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
I'm like, dang, they've really invested in a high-quality system now.
Yeah. The seats sucked, but
usually when you sit in a theater like that, it's like all little hairs in the projector and everything.
There's the one theater in that house that is good. Like the
big one?
The big one. Yeah.
It's still very weird.
Because it's such a slope.
It's like this super steep.
I don't like that one.
No?
I like this one that we went to better.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably because I was so close to the screen, so it felt bigger.
Yeah, I hate theaters where there's an aisle down the middle.
I hate that too.
Yeah.
And so no one can sit in the center.
Right.
Yeah.
There's only sit on the sides.
Yeah, the kind of theaters where it is the aisle down the middle and it's all flat.
Yeah.
And the screen is above.
It was flat. Yeah.
That is really
that's
weird.
Like
a
very old fashioned
feel.
Yeah. And we got there late and we couldn't reserve seats, so we're in the front doing this.
When we walked in, I like totally had a time warp moment. I'm like, whoa. This is what it was like when I was a kid, right? That was wild. I've never been in the small auditorium at the tower until last night.
Until then,
I've only been in the big one.
That's really funny. Yeah,
but we saw it at the Tower Theater, which attracts people who really like
cinephiles,
movies,
cinephiles, right?
Yeah.
And then we saw it on a holiday, also.
And it's the holiday after they announced the Academy Awards,
right? So it had all three of those.
It had to be a little bump of like I thought we'd be in an empty. Seeing Jojo Rabbit, which came out in November, on a Monday, I was sure it would be empty.
Yeah,
and here we were sitting in the front row.
Yeah,
absolutely full.
It's fun.
What did you guys think about Taika's role?
Oh, dude, he's great.
Fabulous. Yeah, it was amazing. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
I loved all the little nods that they did to this is a kid's imagination. So obviously he's saying things like, "And you're really good looking too."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm going back to the palace to eat unicorn for dinner."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he keeps offering him cigarettes.
Yeah. And he like leaps out the window.
Yeah.
You know,
it's and when Hitler has a tantrum, he spits and then and backwards kicks the chair. Like no adult would do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how you can also like juxtapose that fantasy with the kid's fantasy of what Jewish people are like.
Right.
Like how they're kind of like inhuman and like monsters and have all these traits. And it's something very much a little kid imagination would run wild with, hearing the idea that these are like monsters or whatever.
And I think that's the coolest thing about the movie is I don't know if they really intended this, but like what I got from it was that seeing the Nazi viewpoint from the kid's perspective, who is a fanatic, right? And so it's like all this Nazi stuff that you're hearing about all the Jew hunting and everything is from literally a mouth of a 10-year-old boy,
right?
And it sounds the same. It sounds like that's. I feel like that's the kind of value that Taika is saying is like this Nazi stuff is literally from a 10-year-old boy,
right?
Yeah. I like that idea.
That is an interesting perspective. And it's really funny. It's a really interesting way to take down the Nazi party.
Yeah.
And the
it was
ideology
of
it.
A great exercise in empathy, because what Taika was trying to accomplish here, like on paper, sounds insane.
Completely insane.
They're like, okay, I want an audience to connect to and relate to a small boy who is 100% in on Nazism, who fantasizes about Adolf Hitler being his friend, and who is abhorred by the fact that there is a Jew in the house, right? Like, all those are the traits we use to create villains in a movie, right?
It's great because
it's
human.
He creates empathy with this boy.
Yeah,
that's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, I think
it really is. It's a beautiful film.
Yeah, I think the reason why it's so hard for us to even imagine another film doing that is because everyone has taken the World War II theme and World War II events and painted them in a very black and white thing, right? Like no one's ever put any kind of nuance into these kinds of stories. Nazis have always been 100% evil,
right?
Because why else would they be anything else, right?
Yeah.
And so it's nice to explore the real, actual human element of it.
It's funny to see Alfie Allen in this and in a smaller role.
Who's Alfie Allen?
That's Theon Greyjoy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That was he was hilarious.
He was very funny. Yeah. It made me feel like he could do more.
I would like to see him in more things.
He could do more lighthearted stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
he should act more.
And then the kid, I don't know who he is, but the kid who played his friend.
Yeah. He was amazing.
So good.
He's like stole every scene he was in. And that bit at the end where he's like, I guess I can't die.
Yeah.
Like the whole audience
just written in.
Yeah.
Like that's a script joke.
The whole audience laughed at that moment. He was so good. And he had this like innocent joy about everything.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, that Jew I caught, she's my girlfriend now. And he's like, good for you, mate.
Yeah. Right. It's everything everything around him is a positive thing no matter what.
Yeah. So here's this little Nazi youth boy who's like just beaming with positivity, only sees the upside of everything.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Adolf died. Turns out he wasn't such a good guy.
Or in the very beginning when he says that I thought I was your best friend. And the kid says, well, Adolf's my best friend.
Yeah.
But you can have second. And He's like, unless there's Hitler inside of the little fat boy's body, he's like, well, I guess I'm just a fat boy or just a boy.
I'm a kid.
I'm a kid inside a fat kid's body.
Yeah.
Like it was just another day.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's a great idea for a character.
Yeah. How about Rebel Wilson?
I
she wasn't completely obnoxious.
You know,
wasn't obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah, I like her in 2 settings only.
Yeah.
This role, and as a guest on late night shows, talking about the movies she's in, not the movies that she's in.
That's funny.
Like the types of movies Rebel Wilson in are the movies I hate. There's just. Yeah, I'll be very diplomatic and say it's a taste thing, but
when quite clearly it's an objective thing.
I agree. Yes, that is what I want to say. But outside of movies, she's a very funny person. Like I really enjoy watching. Like there's some like super cuts of like her funniest moments on late night shows. You know.
Yeah.
She's ridiculous. Like she's off the hook.
She's a comedian.
Yeah. And her humor is like awkward humor, which is like what I love.
Yeah.
You know the 3 of us kind of walk that every day.
Yeah.
It seems like that was like her role here, where she was a like a lot of improv is what it felt like.
Yeah.
And I did like those moments.
Yeah, and she did a lot of funny stuff, really deadpan.
Yeah.
You know, she was like, okay, here you go. Here's your gun.
Right.
And no gun. Oh, you should take the gun.
Yeah, I did feel like I haven't really seen I haven't seen a lot of movies with her in it. So I've always like seen trailers and stuff, and I've always been kind of annoyed. And there's there's this one ad on YouTube going around of her doing like a podcast or something. And that ad always bothered me. I was like, this is just kind of annoying. But her whole character, her whole type of comedy, her whole performance, and
it fit.
Yeah, it fit right into this movie.
Yeah,
in a way that I really enjoyed.
Funny that the last 2 movies we've seen were Rebel Wilson movies.
Really? What was the other one?
Cats.
Oh, dude, I forgot. Oh.
Wait, was there a movie in between? Oh, yeah, we saw 1917 in between. I take that back.
Rebel Wilson wasn't in
Rebel Wilson was also in 1917.
That would
be really
She was playing a soldier, a male soldier.
Male soldier, yeah.
Oh, male soldier.
Yeah, so what kind of movie was this?
What kind of movie was this?
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
What kind of movie was this pizza?
Really?
What
kind of pizza?
It's time. This is the time of the show where we rate a movie by comparing it to a pizza.
1 out of 10 slices of pizza.
Either a real pizza
1 out of 10
or
slices
fictional. We do not do that nonsense. That is garbage. And because what that does is gives a definitive score. We like nuance. So we do something that's
so we have like 2.5
equally,
slices of pizza.
which turns out is equally useless, but
it's more fun.
It is more fun.
More fun. I don't have one yet.
Oh.
Yeah. I know I've had a long time to think
How
about
about you, Taylor? You want to start us off?
This movie is a good pizza.
Well, that's good.
Good start.
That's a good start.
This is a pizza. This is like I gotta reuse one. It's really simple.
I don't think you've ever reused one before.
Really? This is
Whole Foods pepperoni.
No, it's actually a little better than a Whole Foods.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like
Sounds to me like he's having a little.
Well, there's
trouble.
pepperoni on it.
Well,
there's
good.
definitely pepperoni on it. It's definitely fresh.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
This is easy.
Light
It's easy.
bulb.
It's not the Whole Foods brick oven, but it's like a family-run brick oven pizza spot.
Oh, like Mama's Brick Oven in South Pasadena?
Exactly like that.
The one that's across the street from where Blockbuster used to be?
Yes, that specific one.
Got it.
It's that one, and it's a hot pepperoni pizza from there.
Nice.
With oregano on it.
Oof. That's a good pizza.
Yeah.
Good pizza.
It's a good pizza.
Yeah, delicious.
Okay, I'm gonna say, I've never been to New York, but I'm imagining that over in New York there's this hole in the wall pizza place.
There is.
That everyone
There's
else,
lots of them, actually.
that it's just one of those.
Yeah.
One of the many that everyone likes to copy this name, but this is actually the good one, right? And you go in there, there's nothing special on the walls or anything. It just says pizza, and you order the regular, pepperoni pizza, and they give it to you, and you're just like, my God, how did you get magic into the pizza? and you start eating it. You're like, this is amazing. This is the best thing ever. And then the guy comes over to you and says in an Italian accent, because I can't do one. He says,
"How do you like my pizza?"
Yeah, he says that. And then
I don't know why he doesn't sound like a New Yorker.
He says, and you say, "This is the best pizza I've had in a very long time." And he says, and he tells you his whole life story. That's what this pizza was.
I am a Giuseppe. I come to the country on the Mayflower.
The Mayflower.
Yes, it's a Mayflower Airlines.
Cool. What's your pizza?
My pizza. Well, my pizza.
I'll bet you it's a weird one. It has barbecue sauce and
That's weird.
sprouts.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. No, I was going to say that So imagine you go to the pizzeria, and you order the pizza that you're hungry for, right? We'll just say it's a pepperoni and cheese, fresh out of the oven pizza, right? And it's exactly what you want, and it comes out, and it's everything you hoped it was. And you start eating it, and it's awesome. And you get to the crust, and you find out it's stuffed crust.
Ooh.
Which you love,
Ooh,
and you didn't even know was coming.
You didn't even know.
That's what I mean. It's like
Damn.
It's like a great pizza, but then there's a surprise. So you got what you hoped out of it, and a little more.
Damn.
That's what this movie
That's
was.
a good
Damn.
pizza.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and that's completely accurate to how I felt about it. It delivered on being what I hoped it would be,
Which is already
and,
good.
and surprised me
Nice.
with some bonus. So
Nice.
Wow.
So way to go, Taika. I think the only movie that got this much good pizza praise from the three of us was Parasite this year.
This year,
Of
yeah.
2019?
This year,
Yeah.
Well, last year,
Yeah.
19.
That well, this movie
2019
is of that
Is
year,
of last
as I'm
year.
saying. Yeah,
Except for Star Wars.
it definitely
Star
shakes
Wars,
up my top 10 I had chosen from.
Right.
That's what I thought about.
Yeah.
Now Star
I was like,
Wars
your
is going to have
top
to...
10's
This
different
definitely
now.
has to.
Star Wars has to come down a little bit.
Star Wars.
What did we call that? Like a cereal and milk pizza or something?
Motor
Yeah,
oil
some-
pizza.
Motor oil pizza.
Just a slog.
That's a terrible pizza.
Yeah, it's,
we made the worst sounding pizzas ever for Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
It's as if it's the worst movie we've ever seen.
It's close.
it has
it's
a,
close.
it's a very special kind of worst.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's not necessarily the worst because of the technical aspects of it.
Yeah.
It's the worst because of
Hey, love, can I call you right back?
Dee's answering the phone.
Because I'm recording Talkies right at this moment. I'll call you right back. Love you too. Bye.
Don't cut that out, D. That was a good moment.
That is a good moment.
That was-
I kept your phone call.
That was
Jake.
Genuity. That was Genuity.
I kept your phone call with
Thank
Jake.
you.
You're welcome.
That was not Genuity.
That was great.
Jake actually wasn't even on the phone. I faked all that. Yeah, it's just an idea I had for a bit, you know. Honestly, I didn't think it worked very well.
Oof.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Oh, well,
Good bit
kept
at
it
all.
in, so-
Yeah, you left it in.
Terrible bit, actually.
Yeah, it's not even funny.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's since
It's been a long time.
Parasite was the last movie that all three of us raved
Agreed.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
And-
pretty close on Irishman.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not quite.
Yeah,
Not
there's
quite.
a little bit of.
But yeah, Parasite. This and Parasite, I'd say, are definitely our highest praised film between the three of us.
Right. Yeah.
Of the 2019
2019.
batch.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, 2020 already has a bumper crop of great new movies.
Yeah,
Well,
like
Dune.
Dune. Dune.
that hasn't come out yet.
And Tenet.
It's not even a trailer
It's like
yet.
a year away.
Yeah, I know. You still haven't seen Uncut Gems, though.
No, still missing out old Adam Sandler.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
2019-ness there.
You gotta
Yeah.
check that one out.
I think
one
that's
day.
the only one left that I really wanted to see and haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason why I would say see it is because it broke my expectations of what it was gonna be. So it was pretty cool.
My expectations
it's
are
awesome.
pretty high, actually.
It's pretty much the
Okay,
best.
well, I tried to just lower them.
Okay, let me put it this way. Of all visual media, Uncut Gems is the best.
that
yeah,
is
I'd
my
agree with that.
expectation. That's
I'd agree
what I
with
was
that, actually.
expecting.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree
I'm
with
glad
that.
I won't be let down.
You
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah, Blade
I-
Runner 2049,
Yeah.
Hereditary,
Yeah. Both sucked.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
All right. That
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Midsummer is also underneath Uncut
Oh,
Gems.
Goes-
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane.
Then Uncut Gems.
Yeah, but that movie's black and white. Ew.
That's true, and that kind of sucks.
But the poster for Uncut
that.
Gems is black and white. So.
Oh, that's a. So they're doing what Citizen Kane did, but better.
Yeah. Also, Adam Sandler is God level. So.
Adam Sandler is God level.
Yeah, he's God level.
That's true.
Yeah. If you imagine God acting.
I'm trying to imagine it.
Okay.
So imagine.
I think we should.
No.
Let's end this. Let's end this.
No.
Shut up.
Well, I have to get back.
Shut up. Shut up.
I'm gonna go.
Imagine Daniel Day-Lewis's best performance. Times it by 10. Then you're getting in the range of Adam Sandler's performance.
Daniel Day-Lewis 10 times.
No, his role just 10 times.
It's in the range.
So imagine My Left Foot.
Yeah,
imagine watching that movie 10 times.
I could look at your left foot. I mean, I don't have to imagine it.
Oh, shit. Imagine. Okay.
So does he ever do any of his jokes?
No, that's
all that.
It's all that.
And that's why it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Think of Grown Ups 1 and 2. This is Grown Ups 3.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, bye guys.
Bye, D. We'll just continue on
walking.
here. We've got a lot more to cover.
We're having a fun time. This just started getting fun.
Yeah, we're gonna stay a little longer.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So, back on to Jojo Rabbit.
Right, Jojo Rabbit
Yeah.
is a movie.
I